Welcome back to the channel, Culers. Barcelona's preseason is officially underway, and things are already heating up. From a dominant 3-1 win over Vissel Kobe to a dramatic twist in Hector Fort's future, there's no shortage of storylines coming out of Japan. We're talking about Rooney Bardghji's breakout moment, Oriol Romeu's exit decision, Hansi Flick's message to the squad, transfer dilemmas and a huge opportunity for young stars. If you thought this was just another friendly, think again. Let's break it all down. Barcelona kicked off their preseason with a relatively positive fixture against Vissel Kobe, securing a 3-1 win. Most of the headlines surrounded the positive contributions of the new arrivals at Barcelona, but there was a negative to come out of the match for one player in particular. Young right-back Hector Fort was the only fully fit senior outfield player who didn't get any minutes during the Japan tour, left sitting on the bench the entire time. Instead, Eric Garcia stepped in for Jules Koundé at right-back, which many saw as a clear signal aimed at the 19-year-old. Fort, who already clashed with Hansi Flick last season, reportedly arrived late to preseason medicals, and that slip-up didn't go unnoticed. Flick is known for his strict discipline, and being benched was likely a direct consequence of that lack of professionalism. Barcelona opened to sail for Fort. However, that was not the message that Flick sent during his pre-match press conference ahead of Barcelona's Tuesday game with RCD Mallorca. Can I understand that they are not happy, disappointed, or upset? Of course I can. I was also a professional player, I understand it. They also want to show that they can help the team, show that they can help us reach our goals. I totally can understand that. Can I understand the reaction? No. It's not like that, I don't understand this. For me, you have to accept it. We won, we came back, it was a huge comeback from 3-1 behind. We were celebrating, and I think they were the right decisions. What I want to see is that when they are playing now, we want to see the right reaction. This is what is important, not the reaction after the match. I prefer to see the reaction on the pitch. Flick hoped that their performances in recent weeks would serve sufficiently as a wake-up call for the Blaugrana. We don't know what will happen. Watching Barca and Real Madrid's games, they've been tough against Celta and Athletic. La Liga is at a high level and the objective is not to drop points, but it's not easy even if we do well. We saw that against Celta. I hope it's a wake-up call, it's a very long road. Real Madrid are a fantastic team and they also want to achieve their goals. And highlighted that the comeback against Celta had boosted morale. What's important for me is that we are always looking at ourselves and trying to improve. What happens after Dortmund and Celta, the important thing is that do things better. We have the quality to win against every team. The next thing is the Celta match. When we had the big comeback, what I saw today was a lot of positive energy. This is the good thing, the team is in a good mood, so that's the positive and we have to continue. Barcelona desperately need to show more than just that comeback win over Celta, especially with two massive games on the horizon. The Copa del Rey final against Real Madrid is just days away, and right after that comes a Champions League semi-final clash with Inter. And to make things even harder, at least one of those will be played without Robert Lewandowski. Since the international break, Barca have looked inconsistent. Flashes of brilliance against Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund, but also some underwhelming performances against the likes of Girona, Real Betis, Leganés, and in the Dortmund return leg. The pressure is on, and the team needs to find rhythm fast, or risk losing everything they're fighting for. Barcelona have some important decisions to make this summer, and one name that keeps coming up is Hector Fort. Recent reports have suggested the club might consider letting the young defender go on a permanent transfer to help manage their financial situation. However, according to an update from Marca, Fort has no intention of leaving the team, at least not anytime soon. The 18-year-old fullback is determined to stay and fight for his place, despite being one of 4 players who did not feature in the recent friendly against Vissel Kobe. While Barcelona are under pressure to trim the squad and create space in the wage bill, Fort's exit would have little impact on their finances. Still, his name is reportedly on the list of potential departures drawn up by the sporting directorate. It is to be noted that Fort signed a contract extension just over a year ago, tying him to Barcelona until 2026. Despite the uncertainty around his role in the team, he remains focused on earning his spot. He understands the competition is tough under Hansi Flick, but he is not backing down. Fort made it clear during the summer of 2024 that he wants to continue wearing the Barcelona shirt, and his stance has not changed. It is also worth noting that Fort had already turned down the idea of leaving last summer, showing his commitment to the club. His absence in the Vissel Kobe game doesn't seem to have shaken that resolve. As of now, he is simply waiting for his chance. While the club looks at other options, Fort seems set to stay unless something changes drastically in the coming weeks. Until then, the talented youngster remains part of Barcelona's plans, even if his future remains a topic of discussion behind the scenes. Barcelona transfer news. 33-year-old accepts exit decision ahead of £3 million contract negotiation. Barcelona are prepared to let experienced midfielder Oriol Romeu leave the club on a free transfer this summer, according to a report. The 33-year-old has returned to Camp Nou after spending the 2024-25 season on loan at former club Girona, making 31 appearances for the former Champions League competitors in all tournaments. Romeu still has 1 year left on his contract with Hansi Flick's side, but he is seemingly surplus to requirements in Catalonia, where the Blaugrana have up-and-coming midfielders in his place. Marc Bernal and Marc Casado have both emerged from the major ranks, while Frenkie de Jong is expected to sign a new long-term deal in due course. As a result, Romeu's exit for a nominal fee has appeared inevitable, and one of Barcelona's fellow La Liga giants have reportedly expressed an interest in a deal during the current window. Barcelona to negotiate Romeu free transfer? However, rather than hold out for a small fee for his services, Mundo Deportivo reports that the Blaugrana could instead let him depart on a free transfer in the coming weeks. Romeu is due to receive another £3 million in wages for the final year of his Camp Nou deal, though, so the report adds that Barcelona will have to negotiate his departure by way of contract termination. The former Southampton man has apparently accepted that his future lies away from the Spanish champions, though, so there are unlikely to be any roadblocks when it comes to ripping up his deal. Romeu spent 7 years in the Barca Academy system from 2004 to 2011, ultimately returning 12 years later for just under £3 million after spells at Valencia, Stuttgart, Chelsea, Southampton and Girona. The 33-year-old has registered 1 assist in 39 appearances for Barcelona across all competitions, playing 37 of those matches under Xavi in the 2023-24 season. Who else could leave Barcelona in the summer window? Even though Bernal has spent almost a year out with an ACL injury, the youngster is now closing in on a comeback, so Romeu would only be on the periphery at Barcelona should he stick around. The Spaniard could be followed out of the door by the likes of Marc-Andre ter Stegen, Eric Garcia, Andreas Christensen and Fermin Lopez, while de Jong's future is also one to watch while his contract situation remains unresolved. Barcelona have already waved goodbye to Ansu Fati, Pau Victor, Pablo Torre, Alex Valle and Clement Lenglet this summer, the former joining Monaco on loan and the latter 4 leaving permanently. Barcelona are now considering the possibility of selling young right-back Hector Fort before the summer transfer window closes, claims a report from Sport. While the original plan was to keep him in the squad for the upcoming season, things have changed behind the scenes. Fort, who is under contract until 2029, had hoped to convince Hansi Flick that he deserved a regular role. However, the reality is proving tough given the competition for places at the club. Lot of competition at Barcelona. With Jules Koundé firmly established as the first-choice right-back and Eric Garcia positioned as a reliable backup, Fort has slipped down the pecking order. Despite his determination to break into the first team, the club now seems more open to parting ways with the young talent in exchange for a decent transfer fee. Fort didn't get any minutes in the first preseason friendly during Barcelona's Japan and South Korea tour, which further suggests he may not feature in Flick's immediate plans. Clubs across Europe monitoring the situation. Even though he is not currently in Flick's plans, Fort remains a player with a lot of potential. Every time he has been given a chance in the past, he has shown great maturity and technical skill. His consistency and ability to play at a high level make him an appealing target for several European clubs. As such, there is no shortage of interest, but nothing is concrete at the moment. Barcelona are not pushing him out, but they now appear more flexible about letting him go, especially if a strong offer arrives. The decision is driven by financial needs, as the club continues to manage its budget while maintaining a competitive squad. Fort's dream remains to succeed in a Barcelona shirt, but with limited chances ahead of him, a fresh start elsewhere may be the most realistic option. A move this summer could benefit both the player and the club financially. FC Barcelona played their first preseason friendly ahead of the 2024-25 season against Vissel Kobe in Japan. It was the first of 3 games that Hansi Flick's men will play on their Asian tour, and it got off to an excellent start. Barcelona cruised to a 3-1 win over Vissel Kobe, with goals from Eric Garcia, Pedro Fernandez, and new signing Rooney Bardghji sealing the result. But it was Bardghji, the teenager from Copenhagen, who stole the show. Originally brought in as a reserve team player, Bardghji quickly caught the eye in training, and earned his spot in the first team for preseason. Last night he proved exactly why. Coming on for Lamine Yamal at the start of the second half, Bardghji looked right at home. His movement, link-up play, and sharp decision-making were exceptional, the kind of intelligence you'd expect from a La Masia graduate. In just 45 minutes on the pitch, Bardghji not only scored a goal, but also managed a shot on target, another off target, and even saw one effort blocked. He completed both of his dribbles, had 30 touches, and finished with a pass accuracy of 84%, completing 16 of 19 passes, including a key pass. He even did his part defensively, winning 2 out of 3 ground duels. It was a complete performance from a player who's clearly ready for more than just the reserve team. Rooney Bardghji just made a statement. A glorious opportunity for a first-team berth at Barcelona. Coming to the goal that he scored, it undoubtedly was a thing of beauty. The Euro 7.5M rated Swedish youngster made the perfect late run into the box to be found by Robert Lewandowski, and he unleashed a curler into the far post that almost went parallel to the ground. Without a doubt, based on what Bardghji showed against Kobe, it's clear he is set to get more minutes in the upcoming preseason games. If he continues to build on this performance, there's every chance he could become a part of the Barcelona first-team setup. Let's wait and see how he fares in the coming week. Rooney Bardghji's breakout performance was a breath of fresh air, but questions around Hector Fort's future and Oriol Romeu's contract drama show that the preseason is anything but settled. Barcelona's depth is being tested, and Flick is making it clear. Discipline and performance will decide who stays. With Fort possibly on the chopping block and Bardghji climbing the ranks, it's going to be a fierce battle for spots this season. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Barca sell Hector Fort or give him another chance? Is Rooney Bardghji the next big thing at Camp Nou? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another Barca update. Visca el Barça.